Do you remember when we were little kids and the sight of pretty much any animal would excite us, whether it's your neighbor's dog or you're in the countryside passing some cows on the farm? You remember those days? I think that we all can, and somewhere along the way, we lose sight of that little kid that loved animals. Welcome back, guys. I am Francisco Alvarez. Thank you for being here. If you're new here, consider subscribing. You'd be helping the channel a lot. And full disclosure, this episode is brought to you by Petmosphere, my mobile app aimed to be the only app that you'll ever need for anything pet related. Go ahead and download for free right now on petmosphere.com on both Android as well as iOS. So today's topic is, I guess, a little bit controversial in the sense that I am now a vegan activist and the CEO of a mobile app who is eventually going to be dealing with a lot of veterinarians in the near future. And so as a vegan activist, I see veterinarians as very important people in the realm of everything pet related and basically a lot of times animal related. Going back to the intro, as kids, we are completely blown away by anything that's not human and yet still manages to move. And something happens along the way that we stop seeing them for animals and we start seeing them as something else, sometimes as commodities or what have you. And there's a trigger, right? There's something that happens within the way that we see these animals that starts changing our perspective on them. And that's exactly what I think happens to most of all, if not all of society, mind you, in the sense that we completely turn around from what brought us closer to these wonderful creatures and we start seeing them as food. We start seeing them as leather goods. We start seeing them as basically just things instead of individuals, which is what they are. And so something happens along the way. I don't know if it happened to you as a teenager. I don't know if you were a full-blown adult when you actually made that connection, but something happens along the way that we stop seeing them as animals, as living, sentient creatures. And we started seeing them as useful things that can possibly somehow benefit mankind. I believe that a good explanation for that is society standards. Like society, we know, dictates a lot of the things that we do and normalize and turn into social conventions based on the fact that, hey, a lot of people are doing it. Let me go ahead and follow suit in order to feel good about myself, fit in, and fit the mold of what people think I should be doing with my life. Now, if we apply that same sentiment, that same argument to a veterinarian, most people that are in this field would consider themselves to be an animal lover. Now, this is a very common misconception. If you're watching this as a vegan, you know that there is a vast difference between being an animal lover and being a pet lover. Now, I know that veterinarians have the best interests at heart. I know they mean well, but they are very confused when they say they are animal lovers and yet go home and eat the same animals that they care for each and every single day at their own respective clinics. So for argument's sake, let's say that you are a veterinarian watching this. I don't want you to get offended. I just want you to think for yourself as far as the example that I'm about to give you, right? Let's say that you're working on a Monday and in walks this little 7-year-old country girl with her pet chicken in her hand. And her pet chicken is suffering from a broken leg as a result of X factor. So 7-year-old country girl walks into your clinic and says, "Hey ma'am," or "Hey sir, I would very much like it if you checked out my chicken, have her x-rays and determine whether or not that chicken's leg is actually broken, and let me know if there's something I can do. That's something I can pay you for to heal my chicken." And so you gladly, as an animal lover, right? You accept the task at hand and you try to heal the chicken. You have a heart of gold and you take it upon yourself to try and help this little girl who has, her pet chicken in dire straits. And so you obviously heal the chicken, and you're so happy, you're filled with joy because you see this 7-year-old little country girl going home with her pet chicken in a cast, knowing she's going to be okay, right? And so your shift ends, you go home and you're starving, and you go into your freezer, you whip out some chicken breasts, and you throw them on a grill, you start seasoning them, and you enjoy chicken breasts. Now, you're obviously knowing where I'm going with this. It is complete hypocrisy for us to heal a chicken, heal the animals that inspired us to be veterinarians all across the world, only then to come home and feed ourselves the same animals that we just helped heal. See, to me as a vegan, that makes absolutely no sense. That is counterproductive to everything that represents you as a veterinarian, as a person, and as a person that says they love animals. So I guess that what I'm trying to say is that if you really want to call yourself an animal lover as a veterinarian, that you need to consider veganism. It is the only way that you're going to synchronize your thoughts with your heart and your actual actions. You got to keep in mind that you do this for a living. So people come to you every day with their furry little friends or their snakes or little hamsters, and you care for them. You at least show them because this is their occupation. You do this for a living again. And so you need to sync what you believe is to be right with what you're actually doing and paying the bills with on an everyday basis. Do I believe veterinarians should be vegan? Absolutely. Do I believe that vegetarian veterinarians would be enough? Absolutely not. Why? Because we all know the disaster that is the dairy industry. Leaving meat is a great step in the right direction, but it's still not good enough by society standards, by actual vegan standards. And so if we want to call ourselves animal lovers, if we want to call ourselves veterinarians who care for animals, not just pets, please consider veganism. That is where I stand on the subject. I would love to know that a lot of veterinarians are considering this vegan wave, because it is in fact the future. And fact of the matter is, the future is already here. And I would love for you guys to be a part of it. So if you're a veterinarian watching this, I implore you, I encourage you to consider veganism so that you can truly call yourself an animal lover. What are your thoughts on the matter? Am I right? Am I way off base? Let me know in the comments section below. And if you're new here, I invite you to consider subscribing, since I'm going to be tackling a lot of these type of videos in the upcoming future. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and make sure to hit that bell on the way out. I will see you in the next episode.